Welcome to this week's Q&A. We've got a very pertinent question this week from a viewer in the States, and it relates to the interest rate you get when you fix an interest rate after purchasing a property or signing the contract to purchase a property. And this gentleman said, well, look, I said to the bank, yes, I'll accept the 3-year fixed rate at their prescribed interest rate setting, but when my property settled just recently, I didn't get that rate. It was actually higher. Why is that so? So we did a Q&A session on this earlier this year, which I expanded on all of the strategic issues around making sure that you perhaps partake of some of these really cheap fixed rates that were in existence and still are. But now it's even more important because with a rising rate environment that we've seen over the last couple of months, most of the major banks have raised rates several times. CBA raised rates 3 times in the last 6 weeks. So what happens now is you buy a house and you say to the bank, yes, look, I'll take that 3-year fixed rate or 5-year fixed rate, whatever the case is, and you think that's it. However, if at time of settlement the fixed rate that the bank offers has changed, you'll get the fixed rate that happens to be prevailing at that time. And the only way you can safeguard against that is to take on what's called a rate lock. So most banks will offer you the ability to lock in a rate for 90 days, and generally that can cost around 0.1% of the loan value. So on $1 million loan, it's $1,000, but you then are assured of obtaining the rate that you've elected to take, and you've told the bank that's what you want, and you'll get that at settlement as long as it occurs within 90 days. And most property settlements, obviously in the various states around Australia, whether it's 30 days or 6 weeks, etc., occur well within that period. So it's important just for people to recognise that now, because we've seen increased volatility of rate movements, a bit like share markets these days. And if you know the VIX, or the volatility index, or fear index as a lot of people call it, has shot up quite substantially in the last couple of weeks. So whilst things are very stable, people don't think about locking in an interest rate, but I would recommend that most people who are going to do or going to have a portion of their loan or all of their loan on a fixed interest rate definitely have the conversation about trying to obtain a rate lock and making sure that gets done, so you don't come to settlement time and you find that you're unable to obtain what you thought you had. It's one of those common mistakes, and we as humans, human nature, we think we want something and then therefore it's just going to happen. So it's just a timely reminder, and a very quick reminder to all of our Aussie expat clients around the world, especially as Christmas and New Year comes along, and banks work on more skeleton staffing. So please be careful if you're looking to take out a loan or have purchased a property or about to, and you haven't had this conversation yet with your bank in relation to locking in a fixed rate for your fixed interest rate loan, if that's what you desire. If you think this has been interesting, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, click like. I'm Andrew Unterweger from Wise Guru, and I'll join you again next week for our weekly Q&A. All the very best to all.